Well, I have two types of advice to someone who wants to write a historical novel. One, immerse yourself in that time frame. Read all of the books, do as much research as you can so that you get a very good feeling of that time frame. Look at books that were actually published during that time frame to get a sense of the word usage. And then, as well as look at cultural books about the culture. Because you want to, once again, you want to understand what they were thinking. Would someone react like this if they were actually in that period in time? You know, today, if someone wanted to marry a doctor, we would think that's a great thing. But back then there was a difference between the types of doctors. So there were some doctors that would treat you for a cold or consumption. They were in a more elevated class, and there were other ones that did amputations, and they were looked at as a lower class. So once again, you really have to understand the period of time in order to be able to write that. My other piece of advice is for anybody who wants to write, you have to educate yourself on the process. Just because you can type on a keyboard or a blog does not mean you're going to be a great writer. You have to perfect the craft. You've got to know point of view. You have to know how to write in the right proper formats and the tenses, and you've got to know how to express yourself. And there's just so many different aspects that go into writing something, internal dialogue, putting feelings into your works. And so for one of the greatest things that I've done is become members of some of the great fiction societies. American Christian Fiction Writers is an excellent resource. They'll get you involved with critique groups, people that will help hone and shape your writing. Romance Writers of America is another one. Great resources within these organizations to help you get on the right footing. So once again, if you're going to write and be a historical writer, you've got to have that research down. You have to understand what your characters lived, thought, and strive for, their goals set within that time frame. But at the same time, anybody who wants to be a great writer, you've got to know the craft, and you should get as much resources from wherever possible to just make sure that you are educating yourself in the proper tools so that you can create the best work possible.